Hi, Jeannie. Thank you for coming back today.
Hi,
How are you doing today?
I'm okay.
Um, how have things been? Have you been using your mood tracker or journaling?
Yeah, every now and then when I remember.
Okay. Yeah, last week we talked about trying to track your mood throughout the week. Were you able to do some of that?
Yeah, I mean, my mood's pretty much the same all across, I'd say. Sometimes it's like I don't see the point in doing it because I still feel the same as yesterday, but yeah, I keep track.
Okay, yeah, it seems pointless because your mood's feeling the same throughout the week. Have you been journaling when you feel things
Yeah,
happen?
every now and then. Yeah, when I have some emotion I want to put down or let out, that's something I can do, I guess. But again, it's kind of repetitive at this point.
Okay, yeah, I got that. It seems like it's something you have to do, and it seems really tedious because you're just doing the same thing over and over. You had mentioned that your mood just seems the same across the board. Can you explain a little bit more about that? Like, tell me a little bit what that mood is.
I just don't feel, I guess, excitement or energy or, it's just the same feeling every day. It's a new day, but same feeling, I guess. So it's just not really much to journal if I am being honest. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm stuck.
Yeah, okay. So you're feeling like things are just going the same feelings, stuck.
Hmm.
Has there been anything in the last week that made you feel like, okay, yeah, let me just write about this a little bit of different feeling, maybe, or maybe in an incident?
Yeah, I think there's one week or day out of the week I journaled just recently that um I was in school and my class we had this activity where we had to stand up and share with the class, and I feel like my writing's okay and it is a way I express myself, but I just kind of felt discouraged to share and like, what was the point? They're gonna laugh at you. And I just had all these, intrusive thoughts that came to mind, and I just felt, down and out. And that was the main topic last week in my journaling is I just didn't have the courage to speak in class, or I just felt like I wasn't good enough, or I was embarrassed, ashamed, and I shouldn't have been, because it's my words. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to express myself out loud, I guess.
Okay, yeah. So you like writing and you like journaling, but it's private for you and it seems like it's a difficult task to share your emotions.
Yeah, and I just don't want to be laughed at, for sharing anything, and I don't want to like I feel like it's not good enough. So why would I share it?
Okay, yeah. Do you remember a couple sessions ago we talked about the cognitive triangle?
Yeah, not so much, but yeah, I remember the word.
Okay, yeah. So we were talking about how our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions are all connected in one way or another. Can you tell me, did you end up sharing what happened?
Um, yeah, I ended up sharing a little bit, but I still don't feel like it was enough for them. It
Okay.
did, yeah.
And then what happened after you shared?
And not so much, just like everyone else after they presented, they just have their small little applause and then that was it. And
Okay.
then we move on. Yeah.
So, like we talked about before, our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors are all connected, right? And you had mentioned you were thinking, like, what's the point? It's not gonna, there's no point in this, and nobody's gonna like what I write. Uh, so, those are some thoughts going on in your head. What were your feelings at that time? Do you remember?
Well, I guess I had, oh, I don't know if it was my anxiety taking over, but my ears just got so heated and red. My like chest was tight. I could feel like it beating in my chest in a way, I don't know. But um yeah, it kind of went away after I presented.
Okay, so you felt like anxious and um, all these symptoms were happening, and your actions was that you did present, but you mentioned it wasn't like all that. Did
Mm,
you share to the full extent what you wrote or
not really.
okay? And do you think that has any effect on like your grade, not being able to share?
It could have. Yeah, I just didn't feel confident enough, I guess, in my words. And
Okay, yeah, I get that. Um, it's a little bit scary. So now I'm going to ask you that were you able to see that connection that we just talked about?
yeah, I did.
Yeah, okay. So now let's think about this situation, right? So the situation was that you needed to present in class, but you were feeling less confident in yourself about doing so. Um, can you remind me what were some of those thoughts that you were having? And I'm going to go ahead and write these down if that's okay with you.
Sure. Like I wasn't good enough. Um, I was afraid people were gonna laugh at me. Um, yeah, and then it's just presenting in public, in general. It's pretty nerve-wracking for me.
Okay, yeah. Speaking to large crowds, yeah, that's definitely nerve-wracking, especially if it's not something you like to do or you have to do pretty frequently.
Yeah.
And were you the first to present? Were you the last to present? Somewhere in the middle?
We're in the middle, yeah.
Yeah. Um, so thinking about the situation, thinking about your class and all the people that presented before you, um, what were some of the evidence that get you like made you think, yeah, people are gonna laugh at me?
I don't think there really was. It was kind of just, in my head.
Okay, in your head. So what were other people's reactions normally or like typically during the presentation to other people?
There was some positive feedback, and yeah, I think I just didn't want to hear anything negative in the moment, but yeah, some they were giving good stuff feedback, so
Okay, so there was a lot of good feedback, so that's more evidence that they weren't gonna laugh at you.
yeah.
Okay. And how about what were some evidence that prove that you're not good enough?
um I don't know. It's just, I'm not one to speak up in class, so that's one. And I feel like people already think of me as like a nobody.
Okay. And do you have like some proof of that, that people think that of you?
Well, I don't really have a large group of friends, or I keep to myself more often, and that's pretty obvious, I guess. So
Okay. So let's try to challenge those thoughts, right? What are some thoughts that you can have for the next time you're gonna present in class?
I guess that it's just not as bad as I think it's gonna be.
Okay. Not as bad. Is there anything else that you can tell yourself?
Um, I don't know. I'm a little lost for words right now. Think
Okay.
because I realized, or I could, if I could tell myself that it's okay, or to just get the assignment over with. And yeah, I guess it's just easier said than done.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So this is why we're gonna put this into practice a little more, right? And um, I also want to have you continue doing these thought records, mood tracking, and journaling. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think this is a little too much? Do you think it's something you want to continue trying?
I think I want to continue because it has me thinking back, it has me reflecting a little bit more because now I could see like just speaking to you helped me realize like, I did get through it and I guess, being I don't know if I'm making sense, but I think it helps, yes.
Okay, yeah. So, in the meantime, while you're doing these things, while you're journaling, while you're doing your mood tracker, you'd mentioned that sometimes it just seems like everything's just going the same and like, what's the point? Um,
Hmm.
I would like, if you're open to it, we can try doing behavior activation, which just means you're gonna tell yourself pretty much do the opposite of what you're feeling. So if you're feeling like you can't do anything because what's the point? I want you to make time to do something. And let's start with something really small. So behavior activation is a technique that kind of gets you to do things when you're feeling really stuck. And you've mentioned feeling stuck. Again, that things are the same. So when you're feeling this emotion, I want you to try to do something um, that you used to do? What's one thing that can probably be on that list?
Like going for a run.
Okay, yeah. So we're gonna start small and then we can touch on this again a little more next week. But in the meantime, between now and next week, if you don't mind, when you feel stuck, when you feel like what's the point, if you're journaling and your mood tracker is kind of consistent throughout the days and you feel stuck, I want you to try to do this thing, this behavior activation. I want you to go for a run. And um, if you're open to it, go ahead and journal about that too. And then we can process that the next time you come in.
Okay. Could I also do something that just, I guess, I try to enjoy?
Yeah, definitely. So what might be an alternative to running? 'Cause sometimes, running isn't going to be the best fit if it's like 2 a.m., right?
Hmm. Um, I don't know, cooking makes me happy sometimes.
Yeah, so a simple activity, and then next week we can go over some um, other activities that you can do, and we can also possibly do like a little schedule. Uh,
Okay, that sounds good.
okay, well, thank you for coming in today, and I look forward to seeing you in a week, and then we'll go ahead and process some more about like your thoughts and whatever you're journaling about.
Okay. Thank you.